jumping with joy in Coral Gables.
Next on ACC Live Breakdown, 2 ACC teams break through to the Sweet 16. Miami survives to extend its special season, and Duke wears down Creighton. The Tar Heels looked like a Sweet 16 team for one half, then they didn't. NC State didn't even get to the weekend. What went wrong after starting the year with high expectations? And the 2 ACC snubs, Virginia and Maryland, are on a collision course in the NIT. ACC Live Breakdown starts now. 4 ACC teams made it to the tourney. 3 got to the weekend. Now 2 are in the Sweet 16. Welcome to ACC Live Breakdown. I'm Jeff Fischel. He is NC State great and NBA global traveler, Chucky Brown. Chucky, did you see what Coach Larinaga did after Miami's win last night? Folks, if you didn't see this, in the locker room, he told the team, he asked them to be fighters, and then he says, you know what I saw? Muhammad Ali, and he starts shadow boxing. He's blowing up the internet with this. The players, they got into it. They step up. They start shadow boxing too. Time and again, we see this team loves playing together, and they love playing for Coach L.
Yeah, I've played for a coach like that before, where when you have success, he's happy for you, and it's like he wants you to be successful, and everybody wins, and everybody feels like they're winning. So, and they are winning, but everybody feels good about themselves, and it's great to play for a coach like that.
No doubt about it. The 2 ACC teams in the Sweet 16, they're no surprise. Miami and Duke were the 2 best teams in the conference all year. Chucky, Miami did it again playing small ball against Illinois.
Yeah, Miami was forced to go small ball because Illinois was exploiting the matchups, and they knew that they couldn't match up with them physically. And I thought that with Ryan Brown coming in, that was great.
And then Duke overcame foul trouble to beat Creighton.
Yeah, they didn't really get a whole lot from the bigs. The guards were very effective, and if they can win like that, that's great, but I think they're going to need more than that in the next matchup.
The Duke win, number 2,000 in school history. Wins 2K happens with Coach K on the bench. Just the 4th school ever to join the 2,000 win club with Kentucky, Kansas, and Carolina. Duke kind of ruins that alliteration, by the way. For Coach K, it's his 21st Sweet 16. Chucky, let's take a closer look at how Miami and Duke advanced to the second week of the tournament. Let's get tangled up in blue. The Blue Devils beat the Blue Jays. They held Creighton to a season-low 50 points. A great job defensively against one of the most efficient offensive teams in the country.
Yeah, well, McDermott is a tough matchup for anybody, any night. And all Duke did was keep bodies on him and made every shot a contested shot and just made everything tough for him. And I'm sure McDermott had not seen anything like that in any past game that he played in.
You touched on how Mason Plumlee and Ryan Kelly were quiet, just a combined 11 points. It was really Rashid Suleiman who stepped up.
Yeah, Rashid Suleiman has gone through his ups and downs, but that's typical with a freshman. You know, freshmen are getting used to the college game and coming from high school. I mean, it's an adjustment period. He's had that adjustment period, and now, you know, he doesn't have to get up now, because if you have to get up now for a game or you need a pep talk, then you don't need to be playing.
He's earning his playing time, no doubt about it. 21 points yesterday, 3 threes. He got to the line 10 times. Seth Curry added 17 for the Blue Devils. We will look at their Sweet 16 matchup with Michigan State coming up. Let's talk about those fighters, those Muhammad Ali's from South Florida. You know, when Coach L did that in the post-game locker room, the first guy to jump up and start swinging his fist, it was Ryan Brown. He had a fantastic game, and the Canes needed him.
Yeah, they needed him in a big way. Now, he's come in the ACC championship game and made big shots. He did the same thing again. Illinois had gotten on a nice roll, and Ryan Brown came in and got a nice three-pointer from the corner. Then he hit another one, and then he had another heat check. So he came in and stepped up really big for them, and it was great to see someone step up when, you know, Durant Scott wasn't having the best game, and Larkin wasn't having the best game either, even though he hit that big shot at the end.
Clutch 3.
Yeah, it was a clutch 3, but he stepped up and just carried the load and made everything easier.
I have no issues with Ryan Brown taking a heat check. He earned it. 21 points in 29 minutes off the bench. And, you know, Reggie Johnson and Julian Gamble, they only played a combined 31 minutes in that game. It's a surprise to see this team still playing so well, even though they're not getting contributions from that front line, which is the deepest in the country.
Right. Well, they weren't able to come in and make a bunch of contributions because Illinois went small ball. So that negated them being able to play big.
Chucky breaks down the battle with Marquette coming up. Great Sweet 16 matchup. We'll have that in a couple of minutes. Now, North Carolina's season came to a screeching halt in the first 10 minutes of the second half against Kansas. The Jayhawks went on a 29-8 run, and it was over.
Right.
Chucky, what went wrong for the Tar Heels?
Well, what went wrong was Kansas decided to use their size and go inside and play using Withy, and then they turned up the defensive intensity and made it even tougher for Carolina to score.
Yeah, they shot only 30%. It was one of the worst performances ever by a Tar Heel team in the NCAA tournament. Only 1967 was worse against Elvin Hayes and the Houston Cougars. The last time a Carolina team shot this poorly, it was 1997 against the eventual champs, the Arizona Wildcats. So the season is over for North Carolina and for North Carolina State. The Wolfpack lost in the first round. They both began the year in preseason top 25, now neither in the Sweet 16. Let's grade the season for both teams. First, your grade for the Tar Heels.
I'm going to give the Tar Heels a B+ because they struggled early. Roy made some adjustments, and then they came back and ended the year on a good note.
They certainly improved, and of course, he made adjustments in the starting lineup. A lot of people say this was perhaps Roy Williams' finest job as a coach.
Right.
Now let's turn to Mark Gottfried and the Wolfpack, the preseason ACC favorites after getting to the Sweet 16 a year ago. Chucky, grade their season.
Yeah, I have to be tough on my school.
That's right.
I have to say I'll give them a D because they came out as a top 10 team. They were picked to win the ACC, didn't do that, and then they went and lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And that wasn't what NC State fans were looking forward to. NC State fans were looking forward to maybe a Final Four run because that was one of the more talented starting fives in the country.
No doubt about it. Now, give Tar Heel fans, Wolfpack fans, a chance to either cheer or yell at their monitors right now, all right? Who will be better? Let's assume everybody's back. We know James
Right.
Michael McAdoo, Lorenzo, Charles, C.J. Leslie. They all have decisions to make.
Right.
If everybody comes back, which team is better next year?
As bad as I hate to say it, I have to say Carolina because they lose less. Losing Richard Howell and Scott Wood is going to be big. It's going to be tough to replace them. So I have to say Carolina would be the better team.
NC State fans can't believe they're hearing this from a Wolfpack.
I can't believe it.
A member of the pack. All right, I promised it. We are about to deliver it. Coming up, Chucky previews the Sweet 16 matchups for Duke and Miami. The Blue Devils go up against Michigan State. Miami battles Marquette. That's next on ACC Live on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Out with the old and in with the delicious. Commit to bold taste with the new Flavor Resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut crusted shrimp to our mango salsa topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
What's better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big treehouse or a small treehouse?
If it's big enough, you can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller treehouse?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Good afternoon, Chase Sapphire. This is Stacy from Springfield.
Oh,
Hello?
yes, I didn't realize you'd be talking to an actual person.
You don't need to press 0. I'm here.
Reach a person, not a prompt, whenever you call Chase Sapphire.
This dunk of the day brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Jones on the inbound, trying to beat it. Holy cow! Good gracious alive! And he and Vanderlaan go sprawling. Oh, man! That is incredible.
Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com to get $5 off 2 entrees.
That Dante Jones dunk, still one of my favorites. It lost in the first round of Dunkuary. Chucky and I were both shocked by that. Of course, Mustafa Farrakhan was a juggernaut, went on to win it all. So welcome back to ACC Live Breakdown. I'm Jeff Fischel. He is Chucky Brown. We've looked back at how Duke and Miami got to the Sweet 16. Now let's look at what's next. First, for the Blue Devils in the Midwest, Louisville and Oregon, that's the other regional semifinal. Duke is the 2 seed, Michigan State the 3 seed. Chucky, the Spartans are exactly the kind of team that could give Duke fits. What's the key to that matchup for Duke?
Well, the key for Duke in that matchup is to free up the shooters by movement, getting Rasheed Suleiman and Seth Curry, getting them running off screens, not allowing Michigan State's defense to load up, see what the play is, and be able to help out without any movement. See right here, Duke throws the ball in the post, and now the Virginia Tech defender has to make a decision. So now he decides to help, and now you got a wide open 3. And right here, you see penetration by Rasheed Suleiman on Virginia. It's going to force Virginia to help, and Quinn Cook just moved over and got a wide open 3. See right here, Seth Curry decides to drive, draw and kick, wide open 3. So if they can get Michigan State's defense moving, digging in, helping, and freeing up their shooters and knocking down the threes, not just shooting them, knocking them down, they'll be able to win the game.
Of course, a big challenge for Duke, keeping Michigan State off the glass. For years, this is how Tom Izzo's teams have gotten to Final Fours. They're tough.
Yeah, they're tough, very physical, basically a football team without pads. All of them are big and strong. So Duke has to match the physicality and not give them second chance opportunities.
It is a great coaching matchup. Coach K versus Tom Izzo. Coach K, #1 all-time in wins. Izzo, and this is an amazing stat, every player he's recruited to Michigan State has been to a Final Four.
Wow.
These numbers are incredible. Look at them combined, 44 NCAA tournament appearances. They have Coach K, 81 tournament wins. That's the most all-time. Combined 17 Final Fours. And, of course, they've each won a national title. Coach K has 4 of them. For both guys, this was really their first major D1 job. Coach K spent a year at Army before getting to Duke. Izzo, a longtime assistant. They have both had incredible success.
Yeah, they've had incredible success. And you look at these 2 guys and you give them 5 days to prepare for one another. I mean, they're already good defensive teams, but you're gonna wonder where the scoring is gonna come from now, or how you're gonna score, because they're gonna know each other's stuff so well.
Yeah, and we could see a matchup. You have Tom Izzo versus Coach K. The winner could potentially see Rick Pitino, 3 of the great coaches of this era in college basketball in that region. Now in the East, Miami is the 2 seed. The top seed, Indiana. The Hoosiers go against Syracuse, the last tourney for the Orange before they join the ACC, and it's Miami and Marquette. That should be a physical game, and if the Canes win, it would give Julian Gamble another chance to photobomb anyone and everyone he can.
We want this. We want this so bad. We're very hungry, and I struggled last game. My teammates told me to just keep shooting, and I did it.
A lot of excitement in Coral Gables, in my...
By 1 over there. So it's always good to play them, you know.
I talked to him after they found out where they were being seated, and Julian said, you know what? We're the team that wants to have fun, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, I don't blame him. You know, winning is fun, and he's been through losing. So now that he's been winning, you know, it's been fun. So I can remember having jokesters that I played with. Sam Cassell was a big jokester when I played in Houston, where he would come up and give you the bunny rabbit ears while you were doing an interview. So those type of guys keep things loose, and you really forget about any pressure, because it's not pressure, because you know what you're doing when you're playing basketball. You already know what you're doing.
All right, Miami's taking on Marquette. The matchup I would like to see is one of the Miami guards, probably Durant Scott, guarding Vanderblue.
Yeah, that's going to be a big matchup. I don't think that Vanderblue so far has seen a guy with Durant Scott's size and quickness and the way he uses his hands. He did a great job on Brandon Paul from Illinois, making him 8 for 20 from the field. He had 18, but took 20 shots to get 18 points. So that's a good defensive job. So I'm looking for Durant Scott to be on Vanderblue and make things tough and contest every shot.
Vanderblue's led Marquette in scoring these first 2 rounds of the tournament, but Scott, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. The other side, let's go inside. Miami's big guys, we talked about them really not contributing. What are we going to see from the big guys for Coach L against Marquette?
Well, I don't look for a whole lot of contribution from them in this game either, because I look for only one of them to be on the court at a time. They won't be able to play two of them together because Marquette's going to probably play small ball as well. So look for Ryan Brown to be out there playing a little power forward.
With either Kenny Kaji or Julian
Right.
Gamble, maybe a little Reggie Johnson as well.
Exactly, but they both won't be able to, like Kenny Kaji and Reggie Johnson won't be able to play together.
Okay. Coach L's Canes are rolling. Unfortunately, Miami's women's team was the only ACC team to get knocked out of the women's tournament. That is one of the other headlines from around the conference. This is the ACC now. Alexis Jones and the Duke Blue Devils beat Hampton 67-51. Next up for the 2 seed, Oklahoma State. North Carolina struggled to get past Albany, but they did it. Maryland, a 4 seed, won by 20. They get Michigan State next. Florida State had an easy time with Princeton, but the Noles get Baylor next. Miami lost to Iowa. Tomorrow night, Maryland tries to take another step toward proving they deserved an NCAA tourney bid. It's an NIT quarterfinal versus Alabama. With a win, the Terps make it to Madison Square Garden for the Final Four in the NIT, where they could meet the Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia's NIT quarters is Wednesday night against Iowa. The Cavs are a 1 seed, so clearly the committee felt like the Cavs were one of the first 4 teams out. Maryland and Virginia could see him in the semis. I think I need to be flown to New York for a couple days. I think it's an important excuse.
Right.
That's the ACC now. All right, Chucky, Maryland and Virginia, we could see them play against each other. Do you expect them both to advance?
I'm not expecting both of them to advance. I think that Maryland has a tough road, but it's a little easier than Virginia playing Iowa. Iowa's a tough team, been through a lot in the Big Ten. I thought they should have been a tournament team, finishing 9-9, but they're going to be tough for Virginia. But I think that it'll be Maryland versus Iowa in my NIT bracket.
In your NIT bracket. All right. I really do think Virginia, Iowa, and Maryland were 3 of the best teams that probably should have been thinking to themselves, why aren't we in the tournament?
Right.
Miami Marquette Thursday night. Duke, Michigan State Friday night. We will bring you the best preview coverage of those matchups. You're watching the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Thanks for watching ACC Live.